You asked for it. It's here. Part 2. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bridget, and if you're new here, welcome. So many of you guys asked for a part 2 of the paranormal experiences, and I'm here to tell you it's here. Today I'm going to be doing this with my little sister Gwen because I didn't want to do it alone, and she's been my motivation. So here you go. So we're going to start out with something that's not too scary, but it's definitely not scary. Now, at my old house in my living room, there was this window that was really tall, but like not wide at all. It was kind of like this and up like this next to our television. And one night, my whole family were just like, you know, watching TV, chilling together, relaxing, when all of a sudden we saw this golden retriever dog pop his head up and start staring at us. He started staring at us through the window, and I was the only one to notice at first. I screamed and I said, "Mom!" And my mom looked and she got so scared. It was just terrifying, okay?
You weren't expecting it.
I was not. No, it was a dog in the middle of the night.
So back in my house in Michigan, I was indoors and we were like going to my grandma's house or something to eat or something. And I was going to the hallway going to my room, and I saw something in the corner of my right eye. So I looked, and in my shadow, I had 3 spikes on my head, and I was like, is that me? So I moved around, and I had 3 spikes on my head, and it was super creepy, and I was like, Abby, come here. And so my twin sister ran up from out of our room to the hallway to me, and I was like, look. She was like, oh, it's nothing. It's probably just like something behind you or something, like nothing creepy. I was like, well, look, it's following my head. And then I looked at her shadow, and she had 2 ones too.
Was it like this?
It was like this, but this like tiny like that.
Like a mohawk?
Yeah, kind of like a mohawk, but like 3 mohawks.
So my little brother Sam, he would be in his bed at night, and he would hear these weird noises. But one night he heard this noise from this man outside. He was yelling, help me, somebody please help me. And he kept yelling that, and my brother, you know, was like, okay, that's really creepy. Am I just hearing things? What's going on? So the next morning he woke up and he went to my mom, and he was like, Mom, I heard this man outside yelling for help and this, that, and the other thing. And she's like, well, why didn't you come to me? Like, we could have figured it out. But there was no trace of anybody being out there. And the thing is we used to live in the middle of nowhere. Like, we had this giant dirt road, and we had maybe a couple of neighbors and stuff like that. And if you drove a little bit down the road, there would be a little town, but it was still a little bit away. So it doesn't make sense on why somebody would be screaming for help out there. He would also hear gun shells falling onto the ground on the patio outside or in the basement. It's just really creepy.
Back in our old house at Michigan, my brother Ethan and my twin sister Abigail, we were playing tag in the backyard, and Ethan saw my twin sister Abigail peek her head out from outside of the left side of the house, and Ethan was like, okay, I'm gonna go get her, because he was the tagger, and he ran to go get her, and he realized that she disappeared, and he was like, where'd she go? And then he found me, and he was running after me, and he was like, time out, I'm not gonna tag you, time out. And I was like, well, what do you need? Because we're playing tag, why are you timing out? He was like, was that you? I was like, was what me? I was just waiting here. And he was like, I saw somebody peek their head out over here, and it looked like Abigail, but it could have been you because you guys are twins. I was like, it wasn't me. Maybe you could go check in with Abby. So he ran to Abigail, and Abigail was like, no, that wasn't me. I told you I quit, and I'm inside. And he was so freaked out, and I was freaked out.
And that's not the only time. We would see shadows around the house. I would go outside, and I think I see my little sister running around the house, but then when I turn around and go back inside, she's sitting on the couch eating popcorn. So this one's another not so scary one, but it's still really creepy. One time at the house we used to live at, we noticed this crow dying at our front door. And it was like 3 days that it was sitting there dying. It was just rolling around. And eventually I think it died or something, but it was really creepy to think that a crow, like the sign of evil and, I don't know, demons?
Yeah, being dead at our house or dying, and I'm surprised it didn't die any sooner. So, back in my old house in Michigan, again, my brother Sam and my other brother Ethan were in their room. They were just chilling, talking in the middle of the night. And they saw something knocked down, and Ethan was like, oh my gosh, what was that? Because he was getting scared. And Sam was like, well, oh, it's nothing. I'm the Flash. I have superpowers. I can go run over there. And Ethan was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Do it again. So Sam goes, okay, I'm going to do it again. And he was hoping that something would fall over again so that Ethan wouldn't get freaked out. So then something fell over again, and Sam was like, see, I'm like the Flash. And Ethan was like, that's so cool. Now they're older, and Ethan was like, that's kind of creepy because now I know that you're not the Flash.
Yeah, the thing is he did it to protect him too, because he knew that, you know, Ethan would be really scared of that stuff because he was little, and if something knocked over, he'd be like, ah! But no, he was like, no, I'm the Flash, it's okay.
Just like you with the fireflies, I mean.
I know, I was like, oh, they're just fireflies. Now, this story, out of all the stories we're telling today, is probably the most scary. This one happened, and I still get chills and my eyes still water every time I tell it. My little brothers were sleeping in their room one night. They had either woken up in the middle of the night or were just about to fall asleep when they saw this tall, very tall, black and white cone-headed figure standing over their beds. And they looked at each other and they're like, let's freaking run. So they booked it out of their room and ran all the way over to my mom's room. And when they got into my mom's room to tell her, it was standing over her bed as well.
So in my old house in Michigan, my mom decided to stay the last night since we were selling it while we were at our dad's. She was sleeping on a twin-size air mattress, and when it hit night, she began to hear things like people walking around when there was no people supposed to be in our house, and like the windows were shaking and stuff were shaking and like a bunch of other creepy stuff. And she noticed that Cougar was missing, so Cougar was hiding for some reason.
Our cat.
Cougar's our cat. Cougar was hiding for some reason, like because she knew stuff was going down. And when it hit morning, she found Cougar and she got out of there.
So the last one for today is something that I actually experienced in this room in this house. Basically, one night I woke up, and my heart was pounding, and I was panicked for some reason, and I turn around and I face my door, and I see this giant, 6 foot tall figure. It was big and built, it had muscles and big shoulders and small legs, and I looked at it for a minute and I'm blinking, trying to make sure that it's not something I'm seeing. And there's also this faded white line around it that was flashing so I could see it better. But when I turned over, I grabbed my flashlight and I heard and I pointed it at it, it disappeared. And so I was really creeped out. So the next morning when I woke up, I went to my mom and I was like, yo, I saw, this weird figure and it was big, and she was like, did it look like this, this, and this? I was like, yeah, how'd you know? She's like, I saw the same thing in my room this morning. That creeped me out so bad. I was like, no, you're joking, right? She's like, no, I'm dead serious.
She said exactly how it looked.
I know exactly the way. Oh. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you didn't like this video, give it a like anyways, because I'm needy. I just want to say thank you for doing this video with me again, because we had already recorded this whole entire video. I had edited it, she had recorded it with me, and it was perfect, and I loved it. And then my iPad stopped working. So I'm so sorry that this video is late and that I haven't uploaded in a while. It's because I've been having problems with my iPad, and I'm not even recording on my iPad right now. So again, thank you for watching. We put a lot of work into this, obviously. If you guys want a part 3, let me know, because we still have more stories that we can tell you. And as always, I love you all. Bye-bye. Piece of carrots. You did it fine when you did it before, but I'm just gonna talk. Who is that? Sounded like you. I don't know why I did that. I regret my decision. Illuminati confirmed! The stories we have today is probably the most